Hey y'all, it's me. So I guess I'm just gonna make this heat training day. So to straighten your hair, actually straighten it as if you have a relaxer, as if it was your natural straight hair. To straighten your hair, what you have many options. One, we are our traditional, the ones we grew up on, the pressing comb that you use with the stove, the electric pressing comb. And what I like about this pressing comb, electric pressing comb, is it has different heat settings. I always recommend that you don't use the highest heat setting. I know when we press our hair, we want bone straight, because bone straight, you know, why press it if you're not going to press it all the way? I think that's how some people feel about it. But bone straight isn't always the most healthiest for your hair. But at the same time, I can understand that a bone straight press every now and then is alright. So either use your flat irons, and what I want, use a flat iron. When you're using a flat iron, try to get one with a different heat setting on that. If you can see that dial in there, that dial goes from 1 to 7. That way you can control the amount of heat you're using. It's a Lee Roach. It has an off and an on, so you can't control the heat settings. It has a off and an on as well, and it heats up to 400 degrees. These two only have an off and an on, you can't control the heat. You have to deal with that 400 degree setting that they have. I recommend is the InStyler has a high, medium, low, and I usually use the medium on my daughter's hair. The InStyler on, you just press it, and once you press it that first time, it's going to go on high, second time medium, third time low, and then you press again, it's going to go off. And you remember this, the InStyler, the big thing about the InStyler, remember when it first came out, they were saying how the heat rotates so you don't get all the heat concentrated in one area. And it really does rotate. When you squeeze it, this barrel does spin around, and the bristles are helping. And I know when you see the bristles, you natural hair girls will be like, oh, that's going to be pulling my hair, yeah. I use it on my daughter's hair and it doesn't pull her hair. And, you know, every now and then I see a few strings in the actual bristles, but nothing. So she loves the InStyler. I like using it on. When flat ironing your hair, if you're trying to get, you know, the perfect looking flat iron, perfect looking InStyler straightened hairstyle, I recommend very thin sections, and that's why it takes me so long to do my daughter's hair. Very thin sections. So, you know, take it, run it down, run it down, run it down, run it down, run it down. If you got to start bending it somewhere closer to the edge. See that? So over here, I'm going to use the InStyler to show you what that be about. The InStyler works great on my hair with the type curl pattern I have. It works great with my daughter, who has the most beautiful little curls you ever seen. But it's really curly, but it takes them things right on away. And with her hair, I don't even blow dry. It's just air dry, so it does. Now the way I like to do it when I'm doing her hair is I take this part right here and I put it right up against her head, because this part is not hot. As you can see, I'm touching it. This plastic part is not hot. So I take it and I put it like up against her head, like as so. Then I go under and I squeeze and I just let her roll down. And that's that. So I take it, and that's that. And that's how I flat iron my daughter's hair, my hair. The Natural Divas Rock right now, since I just dipped into it. I dip into it, I take a little bit, and I just rub it on. I make sure I get the ends really good. And when you're applying a product such as a natural butter, remember a natural butter is a little bit heavier than that heat protectant spray. But remember, when you're doing this, the more you apply, the heavier your hair is going to gonna be. So, and what I mean by that is when I flat iron my daughter's hair and I'm not so heavy-handed, her hair still has bounce. It, you know, still has bounce and shine. But on the days when I am a bit heavy-handed, she doesn't have her bounce. And unfortunately, she tries to let me know about it. She's like, "Mommy, it's not doing right." It's like, okay, I used too much. Natty butter. Just a little bit. You don't want to use a lot. You just, don't use a lot unless you want it, you know, old school pressed, shall we say. But if you're just looking for a nice little flat iron that has some body and movement, just like the relaxed hair girl, don't use too much butter, because the butter shine is going to come through. Oh yes, it is. You see that shine on that hair? Look at that. And then also with the thinner sections, you're not going to have to keep going back through your hair with the heat as well. So try to limit the passes, limit the heat. It's not that you're limiting the amount of times that you pulling your hair through the heat or pulling the heat. It's not the pulling that you're trying to limit so much. It's the heat that you're trying to limit. So limit the times that you pull that hair through. Alright y'all, so I was just moving right along and I thought I'd come back and just tell you my heat setting that I'm using is a 4. I'm only using a 4, and you can see my hair is nice and straight and it looks cute. It's not super bone straight, but it's straight nonetheless. And also I told you that I'm using the Natural Divas Rock Moisturizing Souffle and the Natty Butter as my heat protectant. And what I want to show you was, see how the hair is not dead, it's not too heavy, so it does have body. Yeah, it does have some body and bounce to it. And I just wanted to point that out to you, because I know a lot of people stray away from adding a little oil to their hair because they don't want that heavy feel to it. But I'm using these butters. You can most definitely tell I'm using the Natty Butter because it was brand new, and I'm using the Natural Divas Rock as well. I dip in one, then I dip in the other, so both of those get the credit for being a great heat protectant. Alright y'all, so I'm all done in the front and I already started in the back. I've done like maybe 2 rows in the back. See, I've done like 2 parts in the back. And what I'm discovering in the back, remember how I told you I have tighter curls in the back than I do in the front? I need a little bit more heat in the back. So if you know you have different textures, I'm going to recommend that you start with the looser texture, then go to the curlier texture, because for me, I wouldn't have wanted to have the front on a 5 heat wise versus me in the back. I've turned it up to 5, and because in the back when I finish, the tips don't feel as smooth as the front tips. And another thing I was thinking was, you know how I'm always saying my hair is so much longer in the front versus in the back? This is the back. So maybe it's not so much longer. Maybe it's just the way that the hair flows, and maybe it's the way that the curl pattern is tighter in the back. So just wanted to share that with you, that if you have a tighter curl pattern, you may need just a teeny bit more heat. So I'm almost finished, and I'm going to go head on and keep on flat ironing my hair using the Natty Butter and the Natural Divas Rock Curling Souffle. And I did want to add that this flat ironing your hair for me is so not me. It takes too long. And not the fact that it takes too long, it takes too long and I have to sit right here. You know, it's not like when I'm doing my hair, if I want to, I can start a video and get up and go and come back, sit with my family, watch TV. This flat ironing, So, just wanted to share that with y'all. And I'll come back when I'm all done. Alright, y'all, so I'm all done. Flat ironing my hair. Remember I told you it's not really bone straight. It's just straight. Straighter than I had it in the past 2.5 years. But it's straight. So this is what I came up. This is my finished product with my straight hair. And that is it. I'll probably wear this for about tomorrow. And that'll probably be it. It's, heat is not your enemy, but it can be if not used properly. So just remember, when you're using these heating tools, try to stay away from the highest setting. Try to avoid bone straight hair. I will see y'all later. If you have any questions, remember, just put them in the comments or send me a message, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.